All right, and welcome to the next episode, initializing the SDL and creating the window tutorial. It's the 2D C++ game development series. My name is Tim, and Happy New Year. It is a new year, and I hope that I am now back to continue this whole series. Weekly videos is my plan. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and follow along as we venture into the world of game development in the basic form of coding and using SDL as the graphic engine. Last time we initialized the SDL, we created a screen class that that we're going to use to do all the visual stuff. So this is the screen.h and this is the source code. So far we just have a couple constructors, a constructor, sorry, a deconstructor, and a class called initialize that we use to initialize SDL with. Um, and then in the main launcher function, the main function here, the script that's going to be called and run. This is where we initialize the screen at a certain amount of size. If the screen it gets initialized, it returns back a true. So it doesn't do this, but it continues on with the program. If the screen doesn't get initialized, then it will return a false, and it will get caught into here and return a 1, signifying that it did not get initialized. So we're going to continue on. We're going to continue on working with the initialize function, and in this function we are going to create a window or the start of a window. So if we move into initialize, we ran the SDL underscore init function which initializes the SDL. So then the next thing that we got to do is there's a function that we can run that is called SDL create window. And this is the function that we use to create a window. As we can see in this little drop down here, we need a title for the window, we need a position, an XY position, we need the width and the height of the window, and then we have some flags down here which we'll have to talk about after. Most of this information, like I said before, you can get on the SDL wiki site. That's where all the documentation to initialize SDL, to create windows, to create objects within the windows, to create your canvas, all that stuff. There's two main parts to window creation. There's the actual window that we're going to be creating today, and then there's the renderer that we have to create that puts the stuff on the window. That we'll get into the next video. But for this window, or for this video, we're doing the create window. So this is the function that we use. And if you notice right here, this returns back an SDL window pointer. It returns a pointer to an SDL window. So we need that, right? So in the screen function, under the private, we need to declare another variable, another private variable within our thing, and it's going to be an SDL window pointer, and we're going to call it the window. I know it's a basic name, but this is so far a basic program. We're only working with one window. If you were to have more windows, you'd probably want to create better names than this, but we'll just use this one for now. So this is the window that we created. So now if we go back to the initializer, we can say that window will equal this function. And let's start filling in this the properties to this function. So the first property, if we go over top of it, the first property is a title. So let's put a title, and we will call it our game, right? Comma. What's the next? The next is a position. So if we look down here, it wants the parameters, the x position and the y position, and then it gives you a couple constants here. We're going to use this SDL window pause centered so that we can center it on the screen. And what this does is that it takes a measurement of your screen and it takes it how the window is, and it puts it right in the center for you so that you don't have to do the math and work it out. It already does it for you, which makes it a whole lot easier. Was pause centered. I'm going to use that one for the X, and we're going to use that one for the Y. Window centered. Forgot the pause. So its window position is centered. And I'm just going to clean this up. It's always good to have your code nice cleaned up and easy to read. Alright, so the next one is going to need the width. That's the next one right here. The W and the H are the next two ones. The width of the window in screen coordinates. Well, we have properties that are already defined with how big the width is and the height is. So we need to pop those in there. Remember, it's underscore and it's width is what we named it. And the other one was underscore height. And then we got one last parameter in here, and that is the flag, the SDL flag. There's a couple things on here, and if I bring them up, get window flags. Is it this one right here? Yes. So there is a couple. If you look on here, SDL window full screen, so you can put that flag in there and it will be full screen. Here's one for if you were to use OpenGL, shown hidden borderless, it's resizable, a whole bunch of flags that you can pop in there, or you can put in the number 0 as being no flags, and we're going to do that. We're going to put in the 0. The red squiggly goes away. This should work now. Okay, so we got the create window function set up. We got it going into the window property, and the next thing is we want to check to make sure that the window was actually created. So it is pretty simple to do this. All we need is an if statement. If the window is equal to null, then we are going to return false. Actually, I want to add one more thing to this. So if we hit enter, enter again, we're going to SDL cout window did not create. Let's do initialize. And then close this off. And there we go. And we'll hit an enter after this. Okay, so we have an if statement here. If the window is equal to null, so meaning that this did not work, then we're going to go into here, spit out that the window did not initialize, so that in the error list we know that this didn't happen, and we're going to return false, so that anything afterwards doesn't happen. So it passed the initialization, but then it got stuck at the window. Alright, that's all that is required for creating a window. Let's save this, Control S to save. We gotta save the H file, Control S to save this. Go to the launcher, Control S to save this, and let's Control F5 to run this. Control F5. And we're running and generating the code, going, and it's done. Number 1 succeeded. And I'll bring the window out over here. SDL initialized. This is the room, exited with the code 0. Remember, if it returned a false for the window being null, it would have exited with the code 1 and then exited, and you wouldn't have seen an SDL initialized or this is in the room. You would have seen the actual error saying that window did not initialize, and then that's what it would keep. Okay, so the program worked, but we didn't see no window. And that's because it happened so fast that you couldn't see it. So we need to slow it down a bit. We need to tell the computer that I want you to keep the window open for a little bit. So after it gets initialized, then we need to delay it. We need to delay the window a bit. We can do that right here. And we can go SDL underscore delay. And we'll delay it for 5 seconds. So the number that you put in here, I put 5,000, which is 5 seconds, because it is milliseconds that you put in there, and 5,000 milliseconds equals 5 seconds. So I'm going to put that. Put the semicolon afterwards. And before I forget, we need to, everything that we create in SDL, we need to reverse. We need to destroy. So the window that we created, we need to destroy that window. So what we're going to do is, in the screen class, we are going to, if we go in here, we got an initialize function, and what we want to do is we want to create, this time we can just make it a void return. We don't need it to be a bool, because we don't really care if it, at this point we really don't care if it doesn't destroy the windows or not. The program is going to be exiting regardless. So, but this is good procedure to always do. So void, and we're going to put quit SDL is what we're going to do. Actually, you know what? I'm going to change that. Let's put cleanup. We're not going to put in any arguments for there. Get the green squiggly line because we don't have that into the source file. So under the initialize, we're going to put it here. So void screen colon cleanup, and then this is our function. Okay, so in this function, their SDL has a simple method to destroy the window. It's called SDL destroy, not destroy, window. And it has one simple property to put in there, and that is the window that we want to destroy, and that's window. That is your function. And now I just realized that we did not put the underscore in between it, so we're going to do that. We're going to put the underscore in front of the window, and here underscore and window. And why do we put the underscore? Because it is a private variable, and to signify that it is a private variable, I put the underscore. Alright, save it, and here too there's another one, underscore, oops, not underscore. There we go, everything works. Okay, so this one destroys the window that we created. If you had more windows, you would just do a simple function for every window that you had. There is one more thing that we have to do is we initialize SDL, we have to quit at a SDL. And for that, we just put SDL underscore quit. And that will uninitialize all of SDL. Alright, simple function works. What we want to do in the launcher is that we delay it for 5 seconds, and then we are going to quit everything and call cleanup, and there you go. We used a little arrow like we did up here, signifying that this is a pointer, so you're pointing to this method, or you're pointing to this object, calling this method. Okay, so now if we run it with Control F5. Alright, so I just realized that the window is opening up on my main screen. So I've moved my project over here, and I'm going to rerun it so that you see the window open up. I'm unable to move the window right now because it is running a delay which freezes the program, not allowing me to move it. So we'll run it right here, Control F5, so that you can see it happen. I gotta click on the screen first, Control F5, here we go, boom, there it is, here's the screen, and after 5 seconds it disappears and exits with a code 0. Hit that like button, the subscribe button, and thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video when we create the renderer. Bye for now.